They actually, we are online now.
Okay.
So is there anything you need to ask me?
No, we're good.
No, okay. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wimbledon Spiritualist Church, our Sunday morning service. I'd like you to give a warm welcome to our medium this morning, Ashley Mills. Ashley, good morning. Thank you for being here. And I would like to ask Ashley if you'll now open the service in prayer.
Whether you're here at the church, whether you're joining online, can I ask you to close your eyes, bow your heads, whatever is most comfortable for you at this time. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for offering this time that we can join together in your name. A chance to blend energies with Divine Spirit, to feel the comfort, upliftment, guidance, healing, and truth. That inner wisdom, that blessing. We ask for everyone that is joining here, may their families, friends, animal companions, neighbours, colleagues and communities receive healing at all levels in accordance with divine spiritual laws. And may we guide those providing care to others with the highest love, highest skill. We leave this evening the service, in your care, knowing that all that will be said will be for the highest good of all. Amen.
Thank you, Ashley. We now join together in sending healing to everybody, those known and unknown to us, and those in the healing book that we have here, and I will read the names out. We seem to have quite a few today. Shows that there's always plenty of people that are in need of healing. Keeps us all very busy. Teddy, Anne Johnson, Irene Smith, Malcolm Fraser, Mandy Fraser, Marlia Fraser, Stephen Hawkins, Carol Burgess, Lee Oswald, Aaron, Vic and family, Daniela, Mo May, Louise, Rachel, Kelly, Megan, Sharon, Iris, Isabel, Mark, Valerie, Lee and family, Paul, Ruby, Dean Ward, Lee Mottram, Alan Barrett, Jeff Williams, Beth Syme, Chris, Petra, Julie Rees, Maria and Sev, and if I can add on to the end of that, my cousin Ruth's family, and anyone else that's not included that you know of, add them in your mind because it's known. Thank you. And now, if you can join with me in the saying of the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'll now do the reading for today, which is out of our Shirley, who passed recently, a book that she had, a collection of inspirational verse that's by Shirley Catherine Monaco. And this one is entitled Clairvoyance. C is for the comfort of knowing of spirit. L for the love of wanting to share it. A for the awareness of all contained therein. I for inner peace and love. R for the rainbow, proof of God's love. V for our voices as we give forth our song. O for omnipotent law. Y for the yearning to want to learn more. A for aura, like a map of life. N for nature, for us all to share. C for clairvoyance, a spiritual gift. E for ego, which should never be. Clairvoyance, I've now spelt out, just one of the gifts that God has endowed. Ask for us to all take something out of that, give us an understanding that maybe we didn't have. Right. I'll now give Ashley just a couple of minutes to gather herself together, because we need to have someone go round with the collection plate. So your free will offering, please. Thank you. While Phil's just finishing going round with our plate, if any of you online wish to donate to the church, please feel free to do so. It's all welcomed, and you will find the details there online that you can actually go through and do so. And now hand the service back to Ashley for her address. Thank you, Ashley.
I'm always mindful with a Sunday service that having the reading and the address can be very important, because it means that everyone joining in the service can take something away, even if they don't receive a personal message, that there could be something in the words of the reading and the address that it can be equally comforting, encouraging, and inspiring. And as I was asking Spirit before I came here what they wanted to talk about, they mentioned about challenges. And it's interesting that we say the serenity prayer here. It's understanding what is within our power and what isn't, and that wisdom to know the difference. And we all face challenges in our lives, and we should never shy away from challenges, because if we think about it, everybody, if we had an easy ride, everything was handed to us on a plate, where would be the soul growth? Where would be the expansion of our awareness, our wisdom, our love? So challenges are in our lives for a very important reason. They're to stretch us, to expand us, our knowledge, our understanding, our tolerance, our patience, our capabilities and skills sometimes. And that's on lots of levels as well, on a physical level, a mental and emotional level. But as we're here in a spiritualist church, on a spiritual level, everything we go through in our lives builds our spiritual knowledge and awareness. It helps us to be aware of the complexities of being physical in a human incarnation, It helps us understand the variety of lessons in life so that we hopefully reduce making assumptions about people and judgments about people. Because the encouragement of developing spiritually is to be more tolerant, more loving and understanding, and less judgmental. So I hope with those words from Spirit that you put things into a better perspective in your lives, whether you've recently dealt with a challenge or lesson, whether you're going through something now, or whether something may come up in the future that you can take some awareness of and help you make choices about how you think, how you communicate with people, and how you act that will help the best possible outcome for all concerned, including yourself. Bless you.
Thank you for those lovely words, Ashley. That'll give us all something to really mull over and think on for the rest of the week. Okay. Now, before I hand back over to Ashley for her clairvoyance, please remember to answer up nice and loudly, yes or no. Yeses are lovely. No's mean that Ash will have to check back with her guides and the people that are coming through. Ask them for a bit more information so that they explain themselves a bit more and make it clearer to you who it is that is talking to you. And I can actually tell you that I was sitting in the congregation last week and the medium came to me and started to give this lady. And although I hadn't seen this lady for several years, I knew from one specific piece of information who it was. Now, and that is what you need, that little piece of information that indicates to you who it is. And I'll now hand you over to Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. And all be remembering nice and loud, yes or no.
Good morning again. Just to add to what Mary has kindly mentioned, I do also work on a clairaudient, clairsentient level. So sometimes I get sensations that I'm feeling that it could either be connected to the communicator or to yourselves as the recipient of the message. And also, lastly, I would say, please open your understanding of the information because it may relate to a friend, a colleague, a neighbor. It's not always close family who comes through as the communicator. Spirit decide on the right communicator at that time for your highest good. So do really listen to the information that comes through. I can only give what Spirit give me. Okay. So I'm coming to the lady in the purple jacket here in front of me. Good morning. Hello. As I'm being asked to link with you, I'm getting the impression of a lady coming through that's similar build to yourself, but I feel very maternal. That could be mother, grandmother, or aunt.
Okay.
I do feel as if I had short but wavy hair with her. There was a wave, not a curl, but a wave to her hair.
Yeah.
And she's laughing because she says, if we had poker stroke hair, we want wavy hair. And if we've got wavy hair, we want straight hair.
Yeah.
So she was always doing something to it. She was quite particular about her hair.
Yeah.
And the reason she's giving this piece of information is someone understood and respected that. So when she transitioned to the spirit world, they made it known to the funeral directors about how she would want her hair done.
Yeah.
They didn't just leave it to chance.
No. Yeah.
Because they knew that her final physical journey mattered to her.
Yeah.
And so they put those wishes across to the funeral directors, and that was understood and respected. So she wants to give that as this specific piece of evidence for you. Okay. And she's very thankful that people knew her that well, that those little details would have mattered.
Yeah.
And it was very much appreciated by her, and also by the family, I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. She's talking about you turning over the page to a new chapter in your life,
All right.
being stronger, being more resilient, and also setting better boundaries.
Okay.
Okay. Where you might have learned from previous experiences, you're not prepared to allow yourself to be on the brunt of anything disrespectful anymore.
Okay. Mhm.
Because you've agreed with yourself that you deserve to be treated to a minimum level, and you won't settle for less.
understand
And
that.
she's saying, well done, darling, well done.
Yeah.
Because that's how I always wanted you to be treated.
Mm.
No less than that.
Yeah.
But sometimes life experience teaches us that we have to put those firmer boundaries in.
Yeah.
Okay. But she says better to learn it at any age than never at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes spirit give random things that may be unrelated to what they've just said. She's suddenly bringing in a bunch of bananas.
All right.
Now, I don't know whether that's literal or whether it's symbolic,
Mhm.
but she's bringing in a bunch of bananas.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, she's adding that sometimes quite a mundane food can be used in so many different ways. Okay. You know, we can literally have it as it is, or we can mix it into something, or we can turn it into something very special.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's what you do with it, not how it is initially, that makes the difference.
Yeah. Mhm.
Same with your thoughts, your words, your actions.
Yeah.
It's not any of those things in isolation that makes the difference. It's what you do with them.
Yeah.
Okay. She's also talking about recent communication from abroad. Now, I don't know whether that's a letter, whether that's a text message, whether that's an email, but she's talking about communication from abroad.
Can't think of that one.
Okay.
I think.
It wasn't anything to do with sort of startling news or earth-shattering news. It was just communication. So it might even be on social media.
Okay.
Someone from another country just messaging,
Mhm.
or you checking in. But she's just making me aware of communication from overseas.
Right.
All
I'm
right.
just trying to think of that one.
And she's saying, as we have a lovely bright sunny day here today, she's talking about you loving the sun on your face. You don't necessarily like extreme heat, but you like the feeling, the sensation of the sun on your face rather than the darkness. And she says, on a symbolic level, because you have made that conscious decision for your own well-being, brighter days are to come, because you're more in control of encouraging those to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's also showing me a ladybird.
All right.
Okay, I don't know whether someone had that in a picture or whether it was a piece of jewelry, but I feel that it's for luck, she's saying.
All right.
Ladybird for luck. You would understand that?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she just wants to give that to you,
Yeah.
and I will say bless you.
Yeah. Bless you. Thank you.
Can I come to my lady right at the back there? Yes. Good morning. As I'm being asked to link with you, again, I have a lady, but I feel that this lady is more on a friend energy. So I don't know whether this was school friend, college friend, work friend, but I feel on a friend level rather
Okay.
than family level. She had dark hair to just below her shoulders. And she always liked to wear quite vibrant coloured clothing, if it wasn't sort of to do with the uniform at all. But I feel a very kind soul. She's making me aware that she had brown eyes as well as dark hair. And also that she acknowledges that you've always tried to see the best in people and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
But she said sometimes you've given people too many benefits of the doubt.
Yeah.
Okay. She says, because you are a kind soul, because you are a loving soul, you've always tried, even if people haven't displayed the best of actions or the best of words towards anyone, well, they could just be having an off day. You've tried to say, well, that's not the total sum of their identity. We can all have off days. We can all, you know, be triggered by something. We can all do something that maybe we can think, well, if I'd have thought about it more, I wouldn't have behaved that way. She says that's your ethos, just to give people the benefit of the doubt. And she's mentioning about you doing a lot of reading recently.
Yeah.
But on very inspiring things. So I don't know whether it's spiritual or whether it's just poetry, like the beautiful reading from Shirley that we had. But it feels like it's inspirational rather than factual stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's saying, you've got that in you too. You just need to put pen to paper, even if it's just reading it back so that it inspires yourself reading it back. Don't be afraid to let the words flow.
Okay.
Okay. Because sometimes it can be useful information as well in helping encourage ourselves to make a decision or take action about something to go forward in our daily lives. But sometimes the words can inspire other people as well as ourselves. So don't be afraid to have a pen and paper handy when you feel guided to do that. She's mentioning May. Now, I don't know whether that is connected to a name or whether it's the month. That's for you to understand, but she's talking about May.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. And also August, please.
Yes.
I've got the name Bill for you. Again, I don't need to know where that fits. If it's someone that you're not in contact with now, you will get the connection, because let's face it, we know so many people in our lives. Sometimes it's just a brief meeting, sometimes it's more long-term.
Okay.
But I always ask that if we're not connected to that person now, whether they're in spirit or they're just not part of our lives now, we will remember where the connection was. And I love her gentle humor. She's saying it's definitely a person, not a thing.
Okay.
So it's not about a Bill. It's someone named Bill.
Yeah.
But I love that warmth of humor, that gentleness of humor. She would much rather have laughed with people than at people. Okay. And she really wants you to have a reason to smile. You've worked very hard on something in your life. Over the last 3 years, she's being incredibly specific.
Okay.
The last 3 years, you've been working on something. I don't know whether this is looking at yourself, looking at your life, anything to do with work. I don't need to know that. But she's saying in the last 3 years, you've worked very diligently, very consistently to try and improve something. And you're beginning to see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. So she says, keep going because you're on the home straight.
Thank you.
And lastly, okay. I never question what spirit give people in a message. She's giving you a bucket and spade.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily think it's to do with the seaside link, but I think it's about being more playful. Remembering a time where you didn't have responsibilities and duties, and you just enjoyed that childlike wonder. You just did things for the fun of it.
Yeah.
So you can take that awareness and embody it however you want to. If you want to go down to the seaside and make sandcastles, great. If you want to do it a different way, great. But do something for the fun of it and enjoy. And I will say, bless you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Shirley, can I come to you, my love? Bless you. as I'm being asked to link with you, I've got a gentleman coming in for you, very strong gentleman, very naturally self-disciplined gentleman, quite tall, broad-shouldered, salt and pepper grey hair. And he's talking about you rolling your sleeves up and not putting up with something. You can understand that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I'd rather you tell me. It feels like a situation or how someone has spoken to you, connected with a situation, and you didn't like the tone or the way they said something or the way something was communicated.
Right.
And so he's saying, no, you don't have to put up with that. People, even in a situation that isn't easy or pleasant, people can still be polite. People can still have courtesy.
Yeah.
You know, please and thank yous are priceless. They don't cost anyone anything. And he's also talking about your giving heart. The things you do without the need to have acknowledgement for it. But please keep something in the tank for you. Don't keep giving and giving if it's at the expense of yourself. Now, I've been blessed to know a lot of people connected with Wimbledon Church for decades now. And I know a lot of people give a lot of themselves, but we've always got to keep something in reserve for ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether that is to do with time, whether that is to do with abundance, that's for you to understand. Now, this gentleman also makes me feel as if he had a vegetable patch. I don't know whether this was in a garden or an allotment, but he's digging it over as if he's getting ready to plant something. This could be him giving something symbolic to you about planting something new.
Right.
Or again, starting a new beginning. But he says it won't just be you doing it. You will be doing it with other people.
Right.
Okay. You'll be sharing the experience with other people. And it will help you go forward, the fact that you have got other people to talk to and compare things with. And share experiences with.
Okay.
Okay. He's also talking about you having a firm footing, being very, very grounded. Because there has been a phase recently where you felt a bit off balance.
Right.
I don't know whether this is physically, mentally, emotionally, that's for you to understand. But he's saying he wants your feet firmly planted on the ground and you to consciously do more grounding.
Okay.
Now, I know it's the last thing people want to do in winter is barefoot on actual ground. But there are other ways we can do it. Okay. But he just wants you to feel more centered and that you're in control of that, not allowing words or situations or emotions to something to push you off balance. He's talking about very vivid dreams with you, please.
I
No.
have done recently.
Yeah, yeah. And part of the reason for that is you are very receptive to new energies coming in to support you going forward. He says, just keep being open, do your protection so that you only receive with the highest energies.
Yeah.
But be receptive once you trust that that is set in place. Trust the right energies will come in to help you going forward. And
Thank
I will
you.
say bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I come to my lady here at the front in the pale blue, please? Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
As I'm being asked to link with you, I have a lady that's saying aunt. Now, I don't know whether that is aunt by blood, by marriage, or like a godparent or friend of mum and dad that you grew up calling aunt.
I'm not sure.
Okay, let me get information because that was the first thing she gave me. And I always keep asking for them to add more. I feel quite slim with this lady. About my height, about 5'5". And smaller hands than myself, quite sort of dainty hands, well kept nails with her. I felt she would have done typing, so I don't know whether she was a full-time secretary or whether she just needed to type for her own personal affairs in her life, but she's making me aware of having short nails because of typing.
Yeah.
Okay. She's also talking about you typing. I don't know whether that's on a device or computer. I don't need to know, but she's talking about you doing a lot of typing recently.
Yes.
And being mindful of taking rests so that your eyes are rested.
Okay.
Okay, not trying to do too much in one go. She's also mentioning about you having more breathing space.
Yes.
I don't know whether it is the situation connected with the lots of typing that has made you feel pressurized. But she's saying, if ever you feel a bit overwhelmed or a bit pressured, don't be afraid to push back, push those walls out again. Don't let them draw in.
Okay.
Okay. If you need to take a day's break, if you need to take an hour's break, go for a walk, whatever it is, listen to music, however you can rebalance to let go of that pressure, do what you need to do, my love.
Okay.
Okay. Because when we feel pressured, it's not the best energy to make clear decisions. When we're in a stronger, more relaxed state of being, a more uplifted state of being, we can have more clarity and more confidence in the choices and the decisions we make. And that's what she wants for you. She wants you to make the best choices for you.
Okay.
If they indirectly affect other people as well, see that as a bonus, but you're the one that needs to be happy first and foremost because you're the one making those decisions.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Fabulous. Now, I don't know why Spirit do that through me, but I'm getting another food reference. She's giving you treacle tart. Now, this could be a memory link, whether something she either loved or hated or something connected to you, but she's giving me treacle tarts, not something I like. So I know it's definitely not my mind coming in and altering
Yeah, not
things.
sure.
Okay,
Not sure.
let me ask her why. Because sometimes it can be symbolic rather than literal. She's saying all work and no play is no good for anyone. We have to have a bit of sweetness in our life. So that's why she's giving you the treacle tart.
Okay.
Little bits of replenishment as you go forward in a task or a situation helps keep that momentum going. It helps keep your energy up.
Okay.
It helps you persevere. Because the last thing you want is to start something and not complete it. And I'm sure a lot of people, whether they're here at the church or they're online, can relate to that as well. If something's important to you, you want to be able to see it through.
Yeah.
To give yourself that little bit of sweetness, that little bit of respite or rest, treat, whatever it is, helps keep you going.
Okay.
Okay. How you choose to do that is up to you. But that's why the treacle tart was there as symbolic of giving yourself that little bit of boost. Okay. And I love it that they clarify that. Because I don't want anyone going away being confused. Okay. Something very specific. I don't know whether it is someone that you know or whether it's just out and about. As you've been going out and about, you noticed it. But she mentioned a cracked or broken number plate on a vehicle. You might not even sort of consciously clocked it. But she's saying that symbolically, how we are, because obviously vehicles have to be registered, how we are acknowledged needs to be clear. We don't want any confusion. So if you're having to write any forms or do anything official, make sure that your identity is clear.
Okay.
Okay, don't let anything get confused.
Okay.
And if, you know, sometimes on anything legal like passports or documents, we have to give our full name, and that's not always the name that we're known as. Sometimes we have shorter names that we prefer to be called by friends, family, colleagues. So if that's different to your given name, your formal name, don't be afraid to mention that to people. You know, don't let them make an assumption that they have to call you by your formal name if you don't prefer that. Equally, don't let people give you variations of your name that you're not happy with. Okay, because our name is a big energy of who we are. Okay? We have to be happy. We have to be confident. She's also mentioning flowers in your home. I don't know whether you've recently been given some or you've been thinking about getting some, but
No.
she's talking about flowers in your home. They don't have to be real flowers. They could be artificial flowers or on a plant, but she's talking about that splash of colour to help give you a lift and a boost. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe you could consider that as your treat, getting something for
Okay,
yourself.
yeah.
Don't wait for other people to give it to you. Again, that's a rhetorical suggestion that she's making. That it's just having a pop of colour that you can look on in your home and feel uplifted. Right. And she's suddenly mentioning the watch with a loose clasp. I don't know whether it's the strap that's becoming a bit loose or the actual clasp, but again, this could be something past or it could be something to, she's just keep an eye on that. Because the last thing you want to do is go out and about and all of a sudden you don't know where the watch is.
Yeah.
It's like doing sort of general maintenance on lots of things in our lives. It's keeping track of things. Okay. But also symbolically, keep an eye on your time. Don't waste time on things that can be dealt with quite short and concisely. Don't give more energy than is necessary, because then you give yourself time for the things that you want to do as well,
Right.
not just the necessaries.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so don't overgive to things that can be dealt with promptly.
Okay.
I always say bless you.
Thank you.
Can I just come to the gentleman with the jacket over the striped top here, just here? Hi there, good morning. As I'm being asked to link with you, I've got grandfather here. He's very straightforward in saying that. I feel quite a well-built gentleman. But I also feel as if he never had any issues getting his hands dirty. Very active gentleman, very happy to either do things in his life or for his own family or help other people. Okay, he'd more than happily give an extra pair of eyes, hands and feet to help someone that appreciated that, and vice versa. And he's talking about you extending that assistance to other people as well. Can you understand that, sir? Just a yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But what he's saying is make sure that the offers that you give are appreciated. Be mindful of the people that don't give in return. It's not about having massive acknowledgement, but you don't want to get to the stage where you're resentful because people are always taking and not helping you in return. Okay. He says he would hate your generosity of spirit to be taken advantage of.
Okay.
You can understand that.
Yeah.
All right. He says when we can do things as a one-off, fine, but don't let people get complacent. Don't let people use you as a crutch just to make their life or their in-tray lighter. He's suddenly mentioning Spain. I don't know whether this is connected to him or whether it's connected to you, but he's suddenly mentioning Spain.
No, I
You don't understand that? Let me go back in and ask why then. Okay, he's talking about spice, because I know, you know, some sort of Spanish or Mexican dishes are spicier than our normal food here would be. He's talking about stopping things getting stagnant. Okay, putting a little bit of variety in somewhere in your life. He's not telling me exactly what area of your life, because that's for you to know. He's respecting your privacy. But he's saying that a little bit of variety would stop you feeling stagnant, and it would help uplift you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. He's talking about new opportunities for you. But he's saying that with anything that presents itself, it's our choice whether we go through that door or not. Okay, if it feels right, fine. If it doesn't, that is fine too, because that is your personal choice. We have free will whilst we're spirit in a physical experience. But there's nothing wrong with almost trying to think what your life would be like if you make a decision to accept an opportunity and try and visualize it going forward, and then try and visualize it if you didn't take that opportunity. And that might help you make that decision. Okay. But all I would say is spirits sometimes give opportunities that we're not expecting at all, because it's to do with divine timing. We might be needing to be somewhere to meet someone that could help us going forward.
Okay.
So if you feel that instinct, please go with it. Okay. Now, this isn't the sort of advice he would ever have given when he was alive. I feel a very down-to-earth, very spade-to-spade kind of gentleman with your grandfather. But he is very thankful that his understanding of life has been expanded since he was in the spirit world. Because it's helped him put other people's decisions and choices into perspective, because he wouldn't have necessarily understood why people wanted to be different when he was alive. Why people just didn't carry on as everyone else had. But he now understands that we have the right to be more individual, and that it's important that we follow that guidance, because we're all here to do something unique. Okay. He's talking about you mentioning old comedy shows recently. And I'm going back to sort of 1980s sort of comedy shows. You know, the sort of Morecambe and Wise and all that sort of era, where maybe younger generations that didn't have the exposure to those might judge the humour as being very different to now. But back then, nothing bad was meant by it, even if by modern standards it wasn't politically correct. But it wasn't intentionally meant to offend anyone. It was just meant to be funny. And that's the sort of conversation that has been had about them. Okay, just again as evidence and acknowledgement. But do take his encouragement, do take his support, and I will say bless you.
Thank you.
Can I come to my lady with the big lapel on her jacket at the back there with the longish hair? Yes, hello. Good morning. As I'm asked to link with you, I've got a gentleman here that feels very fatherly. Now that could be father, stepfather, father figure in your life, grandfather. I do feel quite slim with this gentleman, not quite 6 foot, but about 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
Very traditional short back and sides hair,
Yes. Yeah.
especially as a younger man, although he went through a phase of growing it out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
He tried having facial hair as a phase, but it didn't last. So you might see pictures of him. You might not remember him having that, but you might see pictures of when he was younger with this
Yes.
as he's laughing. He said it was just a phase,
Yeah.
but it didn't last.
Yeah.
The reason why he's giving that specific bit of information is because we all have times where we make a decision, should we try this? And then we decide going forward, do we want to keep it or not? Should this last or not? And he says it's absolutely okay if we make one choice and then make a different choice.
Yeah.
It's not set in stone. And this seems to be very pertinent for you right now, my love.
Yes, it is.
That you made an initial decision, you started down that path, but you're not sure whether that path is continuing to be exactly right for you. He says it's absolutely okay to pause, assess, and adjust. And that's exactly how he's giving it to you. Pause, assess, adjust.
Yeah.
Because you have to be happy. It's not about pleasing other people. That initial decision was about making your life better. Whether that is simplifying things, making it easier, more straightforward. Again, I don't need to know, but you're the one that has to be happy. He's very insistent on that.
Yeah.
So if you need to adjust, be open to getting the information as to how. If you know what you want and why, you can then work out the how.
Yes.
And also who can help you. Don't be afraid to ask advice, ask opinions. If someone has done something similar, pick their brains. You made that change. How did you go about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm suddenly seeing ribbons. Now, I don't know whether this is to do with dressmaking or whether it's ribbons to tie a present or to wear in hair, but he's showing me lengths of brightly coloured ribbons. Do you understand that, please?
No.
Okay, let me ask why. He's talking about finishing touches,
Okay.
okay, embellishments.
Yeah.
There's something you're doing that he wants you to absolutely put your personal touch on.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you are in a job where you work with other people and you do a project collaboratively, or whether you just connect with other people, but he wants your efforts to be acknowledged as yours so that they cannot be palmed off as someone else's efforts.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's talking about your finishing touches. Put your stamp on, put your mark on. Don't be afraid to leave your mark.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And he's now showing me a beautiful fruit bowl, absolutely overladen with lots of different fruit. I'm not just talking about a couple of apples and bananas here. And I remember giving a bunch of bananas to someone else earlier on, but I'm talking about literally even tropical fruit. I've got mangoes in there. I've got pineapple in there, a real variety. It's as if he wants you to have a whole plethora of sensations and abundance, not just from one source.
Yep.
Okay. Because also, I always remember when I did some health training, they talked about eating the rainbow.
Yeah.
Because when we eat a whole variety, we get more nutrients because there are different nutrients produced in red, orange, yellow, green, blue, whatever foods. So the more color we have, we're getting a better spread of the nutrients to help keep us strong.
Yeah. I can understand.
It's not that you don't have a good diet, but he's saying about when we take control of our choices, we feel in charge, not at the mercy of external forces deciding how strong and vital we are. He wants you to have the momentum. He wants you to have the strength to do everything that you need to do and want to do.
Yeah, I can take that.
He's also quickly mentioned someone around you wanting to fundraise for something. And I don't know whether this is a charity that you also support or you're interested in. but I will leave that with you. It may be something that comes up or something that you notice, but he's talking about someone around you fundraising for something.
Thank you.
Okay. But he does also appreciate you would much rather help support a charity that you feel guided to help rather than just put the odd few pence in all the jars.
Yeah.
You'd much rather be focused in either giving your time or your energy
Yeah.
or abundance to ones that you genuinely connect with. And it's the same with this person around you. There has to be a personal meaning or connection to that. He suddenly popped in the image of a hobby horse. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you remember having one as a little girl, or maybe a friend that you were at school with having one.
I always wanted one.
Okay. Maybe it's an acknowledgement that, you know, even if you didn't get something at the time, now you're the decision maker. Now you're the one that has the ability to get what you want. Now is the time to decide what you want to work towards or what you want to get,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and make sure that you get it. So you're not just waiting. Okay. You grab that steering wheel. You're not a passenger in someone else's vehicle.
Mhm.
All right. And he says the beauty of working towards something is you know exactly how much energy went in to getting that desired outcome or getting that desired thing. And then it feels really empowering. That's what he wants you to feel, strong. So that you don't give that power to other people.
Yeah.
I will say bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bill, I have to come to you. Bless you.
Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Sister.
I've got a gentleman in uniform here,
Yes,
very upright, making me stand upright, no slouching.
yes,
He was very proud of what he did, what he gave, and the reason why. He didn't question his part.
right,
He understands that not everyone understood, but equally, there wasn't a lot of choice.
okay, thank you.
Okay. What he's saying is the service that you give is absolutely your choice,
Thank you,
and that you do it with the best of intentions, and you do it knowingly, and you do it willingly.
yes,
And he's very, very grateful that you have worked very hard to make sure that you stay strong enough and you take care of yourself
thank you very
in
much.
order to do that.
Yes, that's right.
He's mentioning Marjorie, please.
Marjorie, yes,
Okay. And also Joyce.
yes, yes.
Thank you. He's also showing me a red car near your home. Now, that might not be your car, but he's showing me a red car not far from your home. It's quite a small car.
I can't think of the red car at the moment.
Okay. It may be that you see it when you go home, but it's not far from your home. It's sort of part either just along the road or near your home.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And the reason he wants to mention that is because red is the color of action.
Yeah.
It's the color of determination and courage.
Yep.
He's saying you have found a new motivation and a new determination to go up a gear.
That's right.
But I don't feel that that is just connected to your spiritual work. I feel it's connected to your other work as well.
It is.
Okay. Something's happened that's really triggered a re-engagement of your thirst.
It's a gear change.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And it's going to be, again, very collaborative.
Yes,
Okay. So it's not just all your donkey work. It's very much being part of a team.
Yeah,
Which is
understood.
going to make things easier.
Thank you.
Okay. And even though the other people don't understand it, you're kind of bringing your spiritual work into that as well, because it's about setting the intention. It's about getting everyone's energy right to be in the right space to encourage the best outcome.
Yes.
And they might not see that as spiritual. They don't have to. You do.
Absolutely.
Okay. He's also talking about you sorting through books.
Yes.
Okay. I know a lot of us are guilty about sometimes keeping books, but he says you've been sorting out which ones that you may want to donate or give to other people, sell, whatever it is, because he's talking about you creating more space.
Drowning in books at the moment.
Okay. But whilst they are still within your energy, don't be afraid to sometimes just literally flick through the pages, and where you feel guided to stop, see if there is a phrase or a paragraph that is relevant to you now.
Okay.
See if there is any wisdom before you let them go.
I will.
Okay. And again, don't be afraid to write those little nuggets down and have them mindful. I used to do that when I was in development circle, and very often that one sentence or that one phrase started me being able to do an address.
That's right.
So it could be helpful
Yes.
going forward.
Thanks.
All right. And the one book that I'm being asked to mention is Conversations with God.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Now I'm being shown a path to a door. So between a little wrought iron gate and a front door. Now I don't know whether this is yours, whether it is symbolic or it's a memory link, but he's almost lighting the path up. You know how
Yes.
in an aeroplane you have the little lights in the gangway?
Sure. Sure.
It's almost like this path to the door or out the door, out the gate is being lit, as if the way forward is being lit for you.
Thank you.
Your path has been lit for quite a long time. You feel very confident and feel very reassured that your path has been lit.
I do.
Even if the air around there isn't street lighting there, what's on the floor is guided for you.
I understand.
That was your strength of trust that did that. That wasn't external factors. And this is why you have the conviction that you have.
True.
Lastly, he understands why you have made adjustments to your eating habits, eating lighter.
Yes.
But you actually feel better for it.
Much better.
Okay. And go with that instinct.
Thank you.
He could have said go with your gut, but that instinct has served you well.
It has. Thank you.
All right. I will say bless you. Thank you, everyone, today. And I hope even people watching online will have got some comfort and upliftment for the words that the Spirit have mentioned today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley, for that. And before I ask you to close in prayer, can I ask Phil to come up and give us our notices? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley and Mary, for a lovely service, and just some notices for everybody before we close. So our guest medium for the Divine Service next Sunday, February the 9th, is myself, Phil Shaw, and I shall look forward to seeing everybody in church and online then. Today's service, or rather next Sunday's service, excuse me, is to be followed at 12:15 by a memorial tribute to our very own Shirley Monaco. Everyone is welcome, and there will be more information posted about this on Facebook next week. Today, after the service at 12:30, we have Charlie's Zen Den meditation, which is a guided meditation to balance mind, body, and spirit. And this is being held in our sanctuary of the church, and free will donations apply for this particular event. Healing clinics are every Tuesday from 7 until 8:15 and Thursday from 12:10 until 12 noon at Wimbledon. Both healing clinics are for members of the community and animals, and you will be greeted by our healer practitioners in a safe, friendly, and welcoming atmosphere. Again, free will donations apply. The next Friendship Club is on Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025 at 11:30 a.m., running until 2 p.m. in church. We hope you can join us for lively conversation and on particular weeks, specialized topics, keynote talks, and visiting mediums. See our Wimbledon Spiritualist Church Facebook pages for weekly updates. The admission to Friendship Club is £4 at church, which includes refreshments. Open platform restarts on February the 20th, led by myself, and this is an opportunity for intermediate, advanced, and working mediums to practice and polish their evidential mediumship, inspirational speaking, and psychic art in a welcoming and nurturing environment. Full details will be posted in due course on the Wimbledon Facebook pages, and if you have any inquiries about joining the open platform, please contact myself, Phil Shaw, at Facebook, at my Facebook page at Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium. Finally, there is a demonstration of mediumship with Sandra Stevenson, which will be at Hackbridge Spiritualist Church on February the 28th, 7:30. Admission is £5. There is a booking link on our Facebook pages, or you can pay at the door. Have a very peaceful and fulfilling week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. And now I ask Ashley to close the service in prayer. Thank you, Ashley.
If you'd like to close your eyes, bow your heads one more time. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for the connection and the blessings that we've received during this time together. We ask that you help us be mindful of the words that have been said to help us make choices and decisions for our highest good. And for those at the church, we ask a safe blessing on our journeys home until we meet again. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ashley, for a lovely service. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for those joined us online. I'd ask you to tune in again next week, and those here in church, if you'd like to join with us for tea, coffee and cake afterwards, and ask you to join with us again as soon as you can. Thank you all. Bye-bye.